Welcome to the T-roh Show. Transmitting truth one week at a time.
Welcome to the 46th broadcast of the T-roh Show. This is your host, Keith. We got Stu.
Good afternoon, folks.
All right, we got a very different type of program today, but we're going to be exposing a lot of things. And some people that listen to this program today may not be happy. It's not meant to downgrade, and it's not meant to chastise or anything of that nature, but we're going to show a little bit about hypocrisy in America today. And I'm not talking about the Central and South America. I'm talking about North America. There's a lot of hypocrisy here. And there's a reason why your freedoms are lost and your freedoms have been taken and all these types of things. And it's not necessarily because of those who've been taking it from you. So we're going to give them just a little bit of a break today. We've got to deal with the reality of ourselves and reality of how you think and what you're doing. Pay attention to what you're doing. So we're going to talk a little bit about money today, and we're going to talk a little bit about religion today. And the very first thing we want to bring up would be House stenographer Diane Reddy, video dragged off floor yelling about Freemasons and God. And I'm going to show you what they're doing here. We don't have the ability to play these so you could hear the sound yet, especially on this particular service we have, but we do what we can do. So you got the House stenographer, and then look how they do this. Bizarre. It's bizarre. Oh, it's crazy. It's bizarre. It's a crazy thing. And then down here, she's yelling on the floor, and they start saying that she's the Wednesday night vote captured a ranting woman. That's how they put her, right there. Ranting woman. They said she was ranting. It was bizarre. Meltdown.
Can I draw your attention to the byline of the author?
Sure.
Look at the symbol next to his name.
Yeah.
Now, most people think that it's the money, but there's more to it than that, as you'll see.
The ranting woman, reportedly a House stenographer. They always use the word reportedly, as if it's not really been reported. It's reportedly. We don't know for sure whether this is true or not. And they think that she's going off or have lost it. That's how they're trying to paint this thing, because they're trying to work on the debt ceiling. They think that she just lost it. And what she's saying is absolutely true. She comes here. I'll play this, but you can see it. I'll tell you what she's saying. And she starts yelling, "He will not be mocked. He will not be mocked." She says this over and over again. And she's saying, "Don't touch me." The greatest deception here, that this is not one nation under God.
Oh boy.
It never was.
Oh boy.
That's the stenographer, folks. This is the woman that writes down all the stuff that everybody says in that room. She sits there and types everything that goes on. She's probably been working there for years.
No, I would think so, yeah.
Okay. Had it been, it would not have been.
Notice the guy on the left there grabbing her arm.
Yeah.
Now a guy on the right too. So
yeah, No, it would not have been. That's what she's saying. If it had been of God, it would not have been. The Constitution would not have been written by who? Freemasons. The Constitution would not have been written by Freemasons if it were. They go against God. Right there, folks, this woman right here is trying to tell you something. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters.
Yep, and there's actually more. If the folks pay attention to the right here, there's several Diane Reedy videos, and
oh yeah, there's a bunch.
There's additional footage of her at an elevator as they're trying to escort her. I wouldn't say they're escorting her, but they're forcing her out. It's a fascinating event. When did that happen? Like 2013, 2014, somewhere in that range?
Yeah, I believe so. This video was put out 13, published on October 17th, 2013. Okay, so folks, this woman is telling you this, and you're going to go, well, that's crazy. She was just made out to be a nut. Well, of course, because that's what the Masons told you. So who are you going to believe? A woman getting up there trying to stand up for you, okay? Trying to stand up for the people, and what did you let the Masons do to her? Trash her to no end. Oh, she was just crazy. She was nuts. You let her do it. You let them do it. Not one of you stood up for her. And called this woman and said, hey, you know, we're right there with you. We got you. We got your back. She had more huevos, and that's Spanish for balls, than men in this country. Because she got up there and said her piece and said exactly what was going on.
Into a microphone in the house of demons.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I think you have a picture of Serpent,
I do. Stand
Serpent
by.
Hall.
Yep, stand by.
And these people are exactly who this woman said they were. And you're going to say, we're going to go on the side of a crazy woman. I don't care what you call it. It is what it is. Truth is truth. Guess what this is, folks?
Guess what this is? Does it look like a serpent? Does it look like a snake? Two eyes here, little fangs. You can see the fangs.
Yeah, go ahead and click the plus there.
As part of the stage.
It'll open up. There you go.
Okay. That's Nervi Hall, part of the Vatican.
Worshiping serpents.
Pull up another picture. And here's the Pope. If you scroll down, here's the Pope. So we know that this room is used, full of people.
Look at all those people bowing down to who?
To a serpent. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's nuts.
I was floored. I discovered these pictures like 6 months ago, and I was absolutely stunned. Absolutely stunned.
But not one Catholic in this country will stand up and say, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Not one.
I mean, just look at that. Unbelievable.
Okay. Head on over to the US dollar there. Take a look. Satan and the U.S. dollar.
Okay, so we don't want to cover. This is an enormous page.
This is all over the internet, by the way. So
yeah,
we're just going to just cover a little bit for those that maybe have never seen this before. Okay?
Yeah, we'll cover just a little. Whet your appetite. You can search on it yourself. But this is the back of the dollar, and primarily what we're talking about here on this page is the Masonic Lies. And there's some paragraphs, but we're interested in the images. Okay, and we'll just scroll down a little bit. So there's the next to the guy's byline that wrote that article, demonizing Reedy. Okay. So we talk about the Federal Reserve, and we've mentioned before how that's a private entity, and scroll on down. And okay, so here's an interesting one. The Federal Reserve notes have all that nice little fancy engravings as part of it, except when you zoom in, look at that. Doesn't that look like a skull right there?
Well, that's a conspiracy theory, Stu.
Yeah.
You're just a conspiracist. There's no way there.
Well, I'm saying it looks like one.
I know. I'm just saying that's how you're going to be accused of. Well, it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to say.
Okay. So now we're going to get into some real stuff. We've got 13 original colonies. We've got 13 stars, 13 feathers, 13 all over the place, as you'll see in a moment. Oh, here's a little spelled out Mason.
And just keep in mind, folks, that the 13 colonies that were turned into whatever, that was influenced. That wasn't, the people that were in those colonies were not devil worshippers. Just to let you know. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, we're just pointing out the 13 as a number is relatively important to these guys for whatever reason. But here's a hexagram, and it spells out Mason. That's part of the Federal Reserve note. And then down here, here's what we're talking about. 13 leaves. This is where I'm referring to here, this area. 13 leaves, 13 bars, 13 arrows in the claw of the eagle, 13 letters in E pluribus unum, 13 stars, 32 long feathers, granite stones in the pyramid, 13 of them. In other words, 13 layers represents 13 hidden Illuminati bloodlines. So, like I said, this isn't us that's bringing this forth. Here's an owl. See the owl? An owl perched in that little area there. These guys have way too much time on their hands. Okay. But the point we're trying to make to you is basically this, that the Masons are tied directly into the financial system. And if we scroll to the top, I'll just Satan is I can't read that because my screen shares in the way, but the Masonic Seal of America. So you Google something like that, run an internet search on something along those lines, Federal Reserve note symbolism, Masonic symbolism, and you're gonna get exposed to a lot of this stuff. It's now coming to light. It's a huge influence, and in fact, hopefully the screen share transfers.
Yeah,
over.
It does. Go ahead.
Okay, but we also have it included on the coins. Okay. And here's little write-ups. Again, you can search this on your own. We're not going to read all this fine print, but one eye, similar symbolism to the back of the Federal Reserve note. Here's the 13 arrows, 13 leaves.
Olive branch, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay,
So,
yeah, it has all that satanic symbolism all over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's the symbolism? Why a pyramid? Right. I mean, has anybody asked themselves, particularly people that are exposed to this for first or, somewhat new, on the back of on the Federal Reserve note. Why is there a pyramid? That's Egypt, isn't it? What does that have to do with America?
Exactly. Here's your blood. Here's the 13 bloodlines they're talking about of the Illuminati. The Astor bloodline, Bundy.
Oh, look, Kennedy.
Ah, Kennedy bloodline.
Rothschild, Rockefeller.
Mm-hmm. Rothschild, Russell.
Onassis. Who did Kennedy marry?
Onassis.
Yep.
They only marry within their own bloodlines. So he does a speech about how secret societies are repugnant to a free and open society. Secret organizations and things like that. Which, by the way, right now, folks, is running the country. The only reason why they're running the country is because you're letting them run the country. Because you're listening to them. And you're lusting after their money. You're lusting and worshiping their power. That's what's happening. That's why you're being destroyed. That's why the country is being destroyed. That's why it's destroying itself from within. Because you're lusting after these people's money, their power, their cunning. You're worshiping their deceptions, calling them brilliant. And you know why you don't speak out about it? Because your church is a 501c3 and they give you special privileges. You sold out. That's why. That's why you're not saying a word. So every one of you preachers sitting in your churches, your 501c3s, and you're spewing their crap every week and then passing the plate, you're asking everybody for Satan's money. That's what you're doing. You're lusting after it. And you got piles and piles of that cash sitting in the back office. We know that. Some of that stuff is stacked to the ceiling. We all know that. Okay? So that's called hypocrisy. You're calling yourselves Christians, yet you're doing something else. The word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are as a people inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, secret oaths, and secret proceedings. Then what did they do? That same secret society shot that man from the front. Shot him in the neck, went through the windshield, then that same secret society replaced the windshield. That's in the files that came out. We all know who killed him. It wasn't the CIA. CIA is a cover for the secret society, the Masons. It was the Masons that killed him. Because he came out and said, secret societies, they're repugnant in a free and open society.
Can't have both.
That's right. Your power is only by secrecy. That's why it's a fraud. People don't know you're running things. That's why it's a fraud. You didn't openly say, yeah, we're Freemasons. Yeah, we worship Horus and the devil and all that crap and blah, blah, blah. And you people are our slaves. And anybody that stands up for God, Yahweh, we're going to tear you down and we're going to starve you out and we're going to do everything because that's what you're against. See, that's why you respect a murderer and a thief more than respect a Mason. Because at least a murderer tells you he's a murderer. You know that's what he does. A thief will tell you he's a thief. And basically say, yeah, I'm a thief. That's what he'll say. Okay, I know he's a thief now. And they openly say it. But a Mason hides. He hides what he is. because what you are is shameful and repugnant to the world. So you're ashamed of what you are. And you're ashamed of what you do. That's why you have to hide. And the Christians that know this and don't do anything about it, you're going to continue lusting after the devil's money? You're a hypocrite. And you should shut your church down now, because that's not what you are. I personally am not a Christian. I look towards Yahweh and I look towards Yahushua, so you know where I'm coming from. But I'm just saying that if you're going to say you're going to believe in something, and you're going to say that you that you go by a certain doctrine, and you go by a certain creed and a certain belief, and then you violate that belief every day, that's a hypocrite. That's a hypocrite. So think back when Jesus was calling them hypocrites, calling the Pharisees hypocrites, that makes you the Pharisees. He's talking to you. That's what you need to understand. I look at this world in confusion every day because of the hypocrisy that I see on a daily basis. Every single day. I'm going to give you a few examples of what we see on a daily basis. Okay? Now, the government of the United States of America has said openly, Christians are welcome. You can come over, no problem. And you can register your the name of your church. And it's not a 501c3. You don't have to worry about taxes. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff because we don't tax churches. We don't tax people. We sit there and tell you that. You know how many we've gotten? One. I don't even know what the hell it is. We introduce, this was the last part, March 20th, 2017. We introduced this about two years ago. Okay, here's your money. All right, and this seal right here was a 1781 seal that the Masons stole, by the way, and used until 1968. They stole that seal. All right, and it was a seal of North America. And here's the money right here. Tax-free national currency. See that national currency right there? There's this one. There's the 5, national currency. Even have women on our money. Women. And what do you guys have? What are you lusting after? A bunch of dead Masons. Because every one of those presidents were Masons. And they went against God. And what do? You support it. And it's been that way since 1789, since its inception. They're the ones that wrote it. Who said that? A crazy house stenographer said it. The one that you just said was absolutely bizarre. And then you'll come back and say, oh, well, later on she was it. No, she meant what she said. That was a witness, and that was a warning to you. To everyone. And here you got shipping, and you've got agriculture. And then we've had some people say, oh no, that was science. I'm sorry, and this is agriculture here. You have some people say, well, the colors make it look like monopoly money. What do you think you've got? You've got nothing but devil worshiping stuff on yours, but you call yourself a Christian. Oh, I pray to God. You think God's going to listen to you when you're sitting there worshiping the devil all day?
Yep, and let's remind people real quick that a couple shows back we established that the Federal Reserve note is based on absolutely nothing other than the goods and services that are exchanged when you exchange it. So,
yeah, we went in and said that in a previous t-roh show.
Yep.
But this is the religious side of it. This is what they call a non-religious money. And here's Tesla Energy, and this is a heart doctor, and this is George Washington Carver. This one represents someone who was born a slave, literally a slave, and educated himself. I'm gonna have to go back and fix why that front isn't coming up, but educated himself to where he freed himself through education. Freed himself through education. He became smarter than the Masons. So the Masons had to get rid of him. They had to let him go free. And believe me, folks, it's not too hard to become smarter than a Mason. You study 5 years, you're pretty much smarter than a Mason. Because Masons are stupid enough to worship a loser. One who lost. You don't see him taking over heaven, do you? No, he lost. Got his ass booted out. He's a loser. He was no hero. He wasn't standing up for the people. He's no martyr. He's a loser. And if you're dumb enough to worship a loser, then what does that make you? Less than a loser. This has to be addressed. It was addressed 4 years ago, and everybody just forgot about it. Oh, she was just crazy. But the Spirit moved her. Regardless of what she says here or anywhere else, the Spirit moved that woman to go up to this podium and say it the way it is. We know the soul comes through the woman. So we know, and that's when babies are born. You get a soul that comes through the woman. We know for a fact that that woman there, this woman here, something came over her, and she was told to go up there and say it the way it is. That's the way it is. This is a devil-worshiping Masonic Lodge right here that every one of you keep quoting as if what they're saying is absolutely true. They're liars. They lie all the time. And then the next week they say something else and you quote it as if it's truth. That's crazy. Hypocritical. You're acting as if it's real. Then it ends up debunked, and then you do it again. And every 4 years, you believe the next guy. Oh, we're going to change this. You can't clean this up. It was built by Masons. And the Masons take care of it. And they adamantly, on a daily basis, every breath that they take goes against God. That's it. Goes against it. Goes against him. That's it. You've been offered tax-free currency backed by American gold. You've been offered a government where you're free to worship the way you feel necessary, talking to the Christians, more than welcome to come over to this website called the United States of America 1781.com. Go to the directory, hit business entities, and do an entity registration right there. Click that button, it goes to this page. And you're saying, well, that's an entity, that's an artificial, that's not a church. No, no, no. What we're saying is the name of your church is considered an entity. And that's all good and well, but the people in it are real. The people that are part of that church and members of that church are real. And the government of the United States of America does not chastise you, does not persecute you, nothing. Doesn't say, oh, well, you have to do this, you have to do this, this, and this, otherwise we're going to tax you and you're not a church. We don't do that. Only the devil does that. Put certain, things on you. You have conditions on you. You have, in other words, if you do this and you do that, I won't hurt you. That's what the devil's telling you. If you don't talk about this in politics, you don't talk about this, you don't talk about this or this, then I won't hurt you. I won't try you and sanction you. I won't put an arbitrary judgment on you. See, that's what's being said to you. And if you were true people of God, you would have saw right through that. You would have said, no, thanks. I'd take it easy. But what'd you do? You sold out. You sold out. That's what happened. You put the name of the, you do a generate the following at the bottom. It's an entity number, so we can just know what it is. You just do that right here. Then church name, your email, your website, your address. You can use a NAT code if you want. You can use the trustee phone number. And right here, it'll say corporation, nonprofit, unincorporated association, trust, non-governmental organization. By the way, folks, this just means it's an NGO. It's a non-governmental organization, so you can't put your name in that. You just put other, and you put here, church. That's all you got to do. Bam, hit that right there. And now what we'll do is we'll put it in the newspaper, claim the, we call it the existence of it within the United States of America, and you are free to use non-devil worshiping money, tax-free, the whole thing, and a national currency, which means now you have a nationality, you start using the money. And if you really want to do that, we also can do it electronically. We transfer these electronically by hitting the Continental Public Bank and opening an account. And guess what? The government of the United States of America will donate $40 a day to your church. $40 a day to this, $40 a day to that. We're talking about the Christians here. Okay? We're talking about the Christians. Exclusively talking about the Christians. You're welcome to come over to your real government, get out of that devil worshiping hole you're in, stop becoming hypocrites or stop being hypocrites, because I'll tell you what, a lot of you guys believe that there's going to be a rapture. Now imagine Jesus coming here today and looking at you and saying, why are you using Horace's money, this devil worshiping stuff? What are you going to say to him? I don't know. But I pray to you every day. Why are y'all doing this? Why are you warring against God? Why are you warring against my Father? That's what he's going to ask you. You're warring against him every day. through that Constitution, Washington, D.C., the whole deal right there. Happens all the time. These guys are in constant conflict. Hell, InfoWars has made a whole website, one of the biggest websites on the internet, by just reporting the wars, the constant wars between the Masons, the constant baby mama drama. He's making millions off of it. Millions of the devil's money, but he's making millions. Then turns around and says he worships Jesus Christ. Good one, man. And what are you doing? You're fighting for it. Oh, no. It was Christian before, and what we're trying to do is get it back from the Masons. No. That's not what the facts say. What the facts say is they're the ones that created it. And they keep it. They're the ones that built it. Because George Washington was a Grand Master. And so were all the other guys that signed that stupid document. In secret. In a secret meeting. There was no vote of the people. There was no republic. There was no democracy. You can't put a republic in and not get a vote of the people. All you can do is say, we gave you a republic. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for giving us a republic. If you can keep it. It never happened. He was lying. That's Benjamin Franklin, if anybody doesn't know who that is. He was lying. He gave you a devil-worshiping religious cult, is what he gave you. And told you it was a republic. Why? Well, because he was worshiping the devil, and they lied. What do you think? Because the devil lies. He was the first liar and the first murderer. So what do you think he's going to do? So you can open up an account here, and you'll get, you start out with $40 a day to get you started. Okay, you can click here. It's just a registration form. And it shows up, and we don't ask you for the Title 42, Section 666 number, the Social Security number. We don't ask you for that. Full name, email, mobile, country. Voila. Digital signature, agree to the terms of service, and that's just basic website service, and that's it. It doesn't mean, yeah, we're going to take all your money, or when you come in, we own your money. None of that's there. It's your money, and then you register, and then your account's open within 24 hours. You'll get an email, you'll get an email, and that's it. Not hard. Takes less than 5 minutes to do that. Less than 5 minutes. But what do? You ignore it. Oh, well, we're going to take back this government, and it's Christian. It's not Christian, never was. This woman told you that. And you persecuted her, and you denied, calling her message bizarre, ranting. She's overstressed because of the debt ceiling. She didn't give a damn about the debt ceiling. She was telling you the way it was and the way it is.
Yeah, I've got some quotes, Keith, if you want to get into. We're talking about telling it how it is. This is, again, just so the folks that are getting exposed to this early on can get a feel for it. The drive for the Rockefellers. I'm reading this one here. And their allies to create a one world government combining super capitalism and communism under the same tent. Do I mean conspiracy? Yes, I do. This is by a congressman Congressman Larry McDonald. Okay. Just below that, President Woodrow Wilson, who, if you've listened to previous t-roh shows.
Wait a minute, Stu.
Yeah.
That was Congressman Larry P. McDonald in 1976, killed in a Korean Airlines 747 that was shot down by the Soviets.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, wasn't that convenient? Go ahead.
Yeah. This next one, we're talking about President Woodrow Wilson, who we brought forward during the t-roh shows as the guy that the president serving that helped implement the Federal Reserve. And he's attributed to this quote, which is talking about the credit system and what it did to the government, and what he's saying here, right here. It's no longer a government of conviction and the vote of the majority. Of course, we've shown that it never was, but a government of opinion and duress, a small group of dominant men. What's the small group of dominant men? Sliding up, way up top. We want to drive home the point that you've been making right here. No one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to the worship of Lucifer. What's the pledge? We've covered that before in previous shows. And this is who? David Spangler from United Nations. Okay. And I like this one also up top, Chief of Staff for the New York Times, John Swinton. There's no such thing as America as an independent press. Fake news. We are the tools and vassals for rich men behind the scenes. Our talents, our possibilities, and our lives are all the property of other men. We are intellectual prostitutes. And as you can see, I'm not, we're not going to cover all of these, but they're telling you, if you listen, if you have the ears to hear, okay, they're telling you bits and pieces of what they're doing. New World Order.
Right. Keep in mind, folks, this government's growing by leaps and bounds. It's growing like you wouldn't believe. I'm talking in this particular program specifically to the Christians. And I know all of you are decent people, good and decent people. But what you're doing and what you're saying are two different things. And you got to open your eyes to this kind of thing. Go ahead, Stu.
Yeah, this is the final one I wanted to, we can play around with this if you want.
Sure.
But this is the final one I wanted to bring up, tying it into the fake news, tying it into propaganda. You have today, America would be outraged if the United Nations troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. Okay, this is especially true if they're told again, basically again and again of outside threats, right? War on terrorism. Okay.
Extraterrestrial invasion.
Yeah, exactly. And look who. This is why I brought it up. Look who gave that quote. Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, no one's really even knows who that guy is.
Henry Kissinger's in the thick of it, man.
Yeah, he shows up all over the place. Nobody really even knows who is this guy. Nobody's voted him in.
Yeah.
Nobody's done anything.
Yeah. So the whole quote here just demonstrates that they do, as we've talked about, they do plot, they do scheme. They're probably multiple decades ahead in some of their plans to implement, et cetera, et cetera. It's real stuff. Okay. I think the previous t-roh shows, of course, are indisputable, the evidence that we've brought forth.
And the Christians are supporting it because you're trying to be what? You're trying to be good. Well, Jesus said we have to do what government says. Well, it's not a government, it's a corporation.
Right.
Jesus didn't say that you have to do what a corporation says. Jesus said you have to do what a government says. A real government, not a corporation. And he damn well didn't say that you got to do what Lucifer says. I'm pretty sure he said that. Because he even stuck it in the eye of the devil. when you can have all these kingdoms, it's all yours, just bow down to me, then basic return was kiss my ass, go away. That's not word for word, but in today's world, that's what you get. So he said no. All of you are saying yes. You're going against him, the one that you profess to worship or pray and all these things and emulate. You're now fighting him, against him. Then this is how they do it, man. This is a trip, okay? Well, Revelation says this is what was supposed to happen, so we're actually doing what God said. No. You're supposed to resist it all the way to the end. And you're not doing it. You sold out.
And ignorance can't be used as an excuse anymore because we're giving you the information.
Now you know. So you sold out. So now you got to repent. That's the way it works. And the government of the United States of America, the Reign of the Heaven Society Temple, has nothing against you. Nothing against Christians. And you're more than welcome to bring your churches here, worship the way you want, and you don't have to worship this guy over here called the serpent.
Just thought I'd bring that back up to drive the point home.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It doesn't get any more outrageous than that.
Man, they even put the fangs in there.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I'll scroll down here and look. As part of the stage, there's the fangs right there.
Out of the serpent's mouth. Telling you right there, that's like that is world notice that no matter what comes out of there is a lie. It's coming out of the serpent's mouth. He could even be telling part of the truth. It's still a lie.
Yeah, isn't it the serpent that has a forked tongue?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Which I guess is right here, right?
Yeah. There it is. Big old forked tongue. Right down the middle. Look at that.
Yep.
On the it's the second to the left or on the right. There.
Look, they give the window, the eyes eyeball.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh, and go down, man. You got to see some of the crap that they have down there. Look at that thing on the left.
This?
No, the other one down right there. Yeah, look at that. That thing is sick, man. And they're all sitting there right in front of it. They're telling you right there, giving you notice.
Here's the people.
Yeah.
So that's a big statue because here's a standing individual right here. Comes up to the.
Unbelievable. I don't even know what that is and don't care. Whatever the hell it is, it looks creepy as hell to me. Okay.
Oh, here's a little clearer picture. Whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't even want to know. It looks like a bunch of souls down there. It's just capturing souls and stuff. It's just nasty.
Yep.
But
so this is the Pope. This is Vatican. This is the head of the church.
Now what's laid before everybody here is a choice. You have a choice now. Okay? You have a choice. Choice has been established. Which way are you going to choose? We don't benefit from it. Office holders do not benefit from you doing a resident declaration, you bringing your church in, or anything. We don't benefit monetarily in any way, shape, or form. We don't get paid for it. Okay, if the government of the United States of America, there was one thing as one guy started freaking out about this. We have to address this. You guys are a government and you want the USD. We don't want the USD. The vendors want the USD. We need vendors that will take continental dollars and when we charge continental dollars.
Right.
Okay. But right now, a lot of that money and everything else goes towards paying vendors for you, not to our benefit. Okay? So we don't have a motive here. No motive involved. We don't get rich because you do a resident declaration or bring your church over or anything like that. We don't expect you to believe that because you're always dealing with the serpent, so you're going to be paranoid. Well, he's a liar. He's this. He's that. He's fraud. Blah, blah. Whatever. If that's the world you live in, that's the world you live in. Everything's a lie. Everything's a fraud. Yeah, because well, look where you're at. Look at where you're at and what you're doing. Alex Jones sitting there saying, well, Jesus Christ and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever, Alex. Come on, man. You're just as hypocritical as all of them. You have a chance right now, and you have access to a money that is truthful, that doesn't misrepresent who you believe in, who you worship, or anything by using it. There's no religious involvement in it. It's just money. That's all it is. It's a medium of exchange to prove to your neighbor that you did work for it and it wasn't stolen or anything like that. That's all it's for. But what do? You're scared of the devil's power. You bow down to it and you worship it. Rather than standing up and saying no more. I've had enough of this. You want to clean up the swamp? You know where the swamp is. The government of the United States of America is a full working government. Actually does very well. And for the people that we have, it's actually very efficient. Surprisingly, because a lot of them are just volunteering. They're taking time away from their families and everything else to do this and to help their neighbor and their friend and all that. And they don't deserve ever to get attacked because they're there doing it for you without asking anything from you. And believe it or not, I think there's like $150 or something. You get that back in continental dollars. It's absolutely free. You get that back in your hands, in cash. $150. That other just goes to the vendors. We just need more vendors. We need more people to get this thing going. As far as if you want to become the light of the world and freedom, it's right here in front of you, and you're doing nothing but worshiping and trying to fight the devil to say that that's your government, and it was always his. Diane tells you. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're saying. And then you'll see the difference in what you're saying and what you're doing. Well, I got to feed my family. Well, no kidding, really? So if you come over to get out from underneath, get out of her, my people, that God's going to let you starve? Is that what you're saying? So you trust the devil more than you trust God. Because the devil feeds you, right? But God doesn't? Is that what you're saying? Think about what you're saying when you're saying things. And yes, you'll be persecuted by Satan worshipers, meaning Masons. Yes, the Masonic devil worshiping courts, because that's all they are. Because they lie and thieve in there every day. It is what it is, folks. Stop being hypocrites. Stand up for what's right. Get a pair of balls. And do what you say. Then you'll have respect. You'll be fed and all that. Willing to take you back. Willing to take that whore back and clean her ass up. because none of this would have happened without him. The government of the United States of America wouldn't have happened. The money wouldn't have happened. The people that we have wouldn't have happened. The research that came to us would not have happened. It's a sign, folks. It's time to make your decision. That being said, thank you for listening to the 46th broadcast of the T-roh Show. Got anything else to say, Stu?
No, I do not. No, I do not.
See you next week.
Enjoy the work week.